Okay. Alright. Welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner, Classic Less Known Classics. This episode number 3184 in Doubleshot 3078. First we have a Marvel trade and a DC trade. This one here, this is going to be the penultimate trade for this run because there's one more trade left to go with this one. Now I've already reviewed the last trade already, so this is only just volume 3. This collects Punisher War Journal, Volume 2, issues 12 to 17. I have discussed basically 12 already thanks to it being a World War Hulk tie-in. By the way, Matt Fraction, artwork for a majority of the issues is basically Corey Walker, Steve Wagner, and Howard Jenkins. Eric Olevi does basically issue 12. Yeah, 12 is just a tie-in to World War Hulk. That's literally all it is. Moving on from that, moving on to issue number 13, which starts with the Hunter/Hunted story arc. We start with the Rhino, who's got damage to his suit. Looks like he's working with some people here, and they, of course, basically do old school blast. He's looking about to commit some robbery. And then the Punisher shows up. Yes, the Punisher, like, how about the fist guy? Yes, and by the way, his suit is damaged. So then Spider-Man shows up in his black suit. Then we have Domino here running from some Arabs. And then, of course, she runs into George Washington Bridge, where she's saved by him. A little fun fact, basically, Rob Liefeld created both. Yep. Yes, he did. He debuted in X-Force number 1. She debuted in X-Force number 8. This way with the book started, they had Domino there, but that was retconned to be a different character. Shapeshifter named Copycat. Yes, I'm fighting Rhino for a bit, losing more pieces of his suit. Yes, I'm like, how the heck is that? And of course, you have Punisher being webbed down. And then Kraven the Hunter shows up, except this is not Sergei Kravinoff. This actually is his son, Asa Kravinoff. He's a bit annoyed. It seems like the way he's dressed, seems like he's like a knock of Kraven Hunter, so he is the son of Kraven Hunter. So then Rhino is captured by Kraven Hunter along with the Vulture, and they're there with Agaron, Tiger Shark, looks like Viper, and yeah. So basically, Kraven Hunter is kidnapped. Basically, they even have Mandrill here. Where basically these people are here behind it for sport. Well, that is until basically Kraven the Hunter decides to kill Agron. Now here's the thing with this horse. You think, oh, is that Black Knight's horse? Yes and no. It is Black Knight's horse. It is. Okay, so that horse belongs to the Victorian, the Vatican Black Knight. That's how it belongs to. How the heck Kraven the Hunter got that horse is never really explained here. And of course, Frank Castle goes after them, of course, the captured criminals. One is basically Manbull. It's like... And then for some reason, a guy who works for Kraven Hunter decided to serve these people, some who are actually humans in costumes, serves as freaking dog food, which is disgusting. But basically, they're also serving the remains of the horse that blew up. Then you have Punisher fighting this guy in the suit. Then eventually deals with Kraven the Hunter. And of course, he has this little sonar thing because Asa Kravinoff is a mutant. His later retcon half-sister is actually Inhuman. And then you have Punisher versus Tiger Shark, a Namor villain. You're like, that's interesting. Leapfrog does whatever. Manbull fights the Grizzly. Yes, both characters come by Jerry Conway. Then Viper tries to fight Kraven, but gets stopped easily. And Punisher basically just takes a horn from Manbull and just whacks Mandrill. knocks out one of his eyes. Like, and then you have basically Gargoyle, Isaac Christians. Yes. You have him firing fire at Swarm. Then you have Silver Sable here. Yeah, Silver Sable being a cat burglar. Don't know why, but I'm thinking like, why in the world is Silver Sable robbing a museum? Because she's rich. Why the heck would she rob a museum for? And of course you have, by the way, the reason why he was trying to webbed up Punisher before he left the second time, because he webbed him twice. Because you gonna get Craven? No. Webs him anyways, but he ends up fighting him. But then basically everyone gets freed. And the story wraps up there. And apparently keeps Zabu. And this whole next issue is about Stuart Clarke, aka Rampage. Then we see Princess Python, where she's here basically with her new current boyfriend, who has boyo stuff. Now I should point out though, at one point she was married to the Gibbon. Here, this is not the Gibbon, it's some random dude that she is with, and like, oh, because she goes by her snakes, like, oh, he's like unconscious, apparently lost her powers. And gets contact with Turk, and then Punisher shows up. Yeah, it's like the whole issue's focused on this random guy for this one issue. And then the last issue focuses on Stuart Clarke. Oh, I remember something with the champions being in a wheelchair. Him getting a girlfriend, of course. Yeah. It's like, this book is called Punisher War Journal. The last issue don't focus on, he's basically a supporting character's own book. But it's kind of interesting, the Hunt to Hunted is basically just a quick 3-parter, and then basically everything else is a bunch of one-shot issues. This book is great. It's about roughly a 9 out of 10. And we have one more trail to go. And that's it. Those of you curious, where did I get this one? I got this from a comic book store in Tarpon Springs. And I got this book for like $5. Yeah. Next up we have, this book of Free Comic Day, we have Detective Comics by Ram V, Volume 5, Gotham Nocturne, Act 3, which collects issues of Detective Comics 1071 to 1079. Your writers for the issues are Ram V, who is the primary writer, with Dan Walters and Alex Pinto on the backup stories, with artwork by Safael Raffaelli, Ricardo Facciari, Gillian March, Javier Fernandez, Christian Juice, Christopher Meaton, Hayden Sherman, Jorge Fernandez, Robert Rodriguez, Francis Furquivila, and Lasario Isran. The cover art, Evan Kango. We started with this look like an afterlife, where basically this first part is just basically Batman trying to come back after dying in the previous issue. Yeah, after he got hung. You have stuff here with Renee Montoya here trying to figure out what's going on. And I really love the artwork here. The book is so good. I think for a lot, I pretty like complaining about the story here, but I've heard nobody say anything bad about the artwork. The artwork is fantastic. This book is amazing. Then we see like, oh, Simon at a bar, and then we see this weird bug guy trying to be a hero. This guy here. Is it kill him off? No, let's not kill him off. There's some guy, and Simon Hurt basically gets loosely involved here. Yeah, Simon Hurt plays a role in these stories. And then we see a clown who looks a lot like Pennywise from the reboot It movies. Here, for reasons. You have Batman here without the thing covering his eyes, probably because basically he doesn't have his tech with his suit. Then we have a question story called Forget Me Not. Yeah. where you have her basically team up with, working here with Cassie Kane. Batman, of course, is still trying to get out of the afterlife. Yep. And the whole thing, like, someone also at one point, this woman claimed to be Simon Hurt, and she's like, yeah, this woman here, yeah, she claims Simon Hurt, so like, she technically is not Dr. Hurt, and she says the reason why that Simon Hurt doesn't like her very much because she's new and improved. Yep, that's the reason why he doesn't like her very much. And Batman, of course, is back. Of course, he's wounded. Somehow he's back. He's suddenly hung. And looks like he's about to talk about a bear, and it leads into the question story. The questions investigate more stuff, and of course, Batman thinking he's out of the afterlife, but looks like he's still possessed by a demon. And then Talia fights off against Flamingo. Then you have Renee talking to Gordon, and of course you got your doctor, your name is so he brainwashed you. Nope. And here's a line basically is like too much ego into it, don't you? Don't I? You threw all our bones. You're not quite close enough. No, we're always like this. You're just jealous because I'm new and improved. Yeah, she actually said that. Yes, she thinks she's better than the original Dr. Hurt, so basically thinks she's better. And she thinks she is Dr. Hurt, but she really isn't. Yep. Yeah, we gotta wake up at some laboratory, ask where the general is. Who's general? It's just Dr. Hurt. Then we have another story here with Crescendo, basically leading to another finale here, where Batman, of course, is back. He's here with Renee, and of course they find some more stuff here related to the Organ family. And they have like the more stand-up pose. Yes, so cool if I could see him like this. He has meeting the Organ family course stuff, and of course then we have a symbol they pulled directly from the movie The Dark Knight. He's here with Selena, of course, his girl, is the woman he loves. And then we see Lady Shiva here hanging out with Batgirl, which, of course, that's really cool. A little sparring match between two of them. And it's like, he came like him, and then eventually... I think this story here is most like this Batgirl story. It feels like it's a Batgirl pilot to the current Batgirl ongoing right now. And then we see the Joker. Yes, the Joker. Well... someone's draw interpretation of Joker. But yeah, it's supposed to be Joker. I think Crescendo's supposed to be like basically leading to the very end. And for some reason we have Batman, we have this costume where his symbol is bloody for reasons. He goes visit Blackgate. Mr. Freeze basically helps out too somehow. Of course he's got a beard. Actually, there's a beard. There's always bloody. And then we see Scarecrow here without his costume on. Yep. And then we see a flashback of Mr. Freeze in his Mr. Zero costume. I guess to establish the fact, and of course the reference here of Batman Cataclysm, which I think was the second time this reference has been referenced in the current continuity. Yes, I believe they referenced Cataclysm. I believe when Tindy wrote Batman. I think it was during his third story. I think Ghost, I think it was. Oh, we're not done yet, so we're getting there. Yeah, then basically we have him take on Two-Face. And then we see Dula Dent. Those of you who don't know who this woman is, who the heck is Dula Dent? Dula, actually, this actually is, not Dula Dent. This woman here is supposed to be Joker's daughter, without her mask on. This is, I believe, the first time they ever saw each other, the first time she's ever met the guy. The fact she claimed to be his daughter. And then we have the 10-Eye Bandit appear here. Yes. And then eventually Gotham turns a freaking war zone here. With Nightwing, Batgirl, and of course we have Azrael here in his Asbat costume. And of course they all work with Batman to take on the Organ family. And we're getting close to the very end. We have roughly 2 more left to go. Of course, then it wraps up with issue number 1087. The last 2 issues are basically the finale. But basically, everybody's going to play beating up bad guys. Vandal Savage basically tries to rally some people who work with him. For this family to briefly take over Gotham. Trust him, and of course, then she puts on a new version of the face. Yes, it's not the actual face that she had. Then Azrael, of course, gets taken up, stopped by Nightwing for a bit. Then lots more crazy stuff here. Then he gets whacked back in the head. And then we see Joker's daughter here just deal with one member of the Organ family. The 10-Eye Bandit tries to put on a mask with 10-Eye Bandit. But then he takes her out, basically one finger turns her to dust. Yes, turns her to dust thanks to his ability. And of course, basically, lots of action here, just taking him down. And of course, the guy gets out of the tube. Who apparently was revived. So-called Golden Child. That's from Detective 1088. Who is this kid? This is an Organ. Yeah. He got revived. This would be murdered by his own mother. Yep, he gets revived here, and they would lead into the finale. Yeah, and of course, basically, Ezra takes on his mom, which he defeats her, and of course, you have Cassie Kane, whose arm is bloody during a conflict. Yeah, then Jim Gordon and a bunch of GCPD officers take on more members of the Organ family. Yep. And then eventually everything gets wrapped up in a nice little bow. And basically it's like, yeah, and last thing it says is, the boy who dreamed for the moment was telling him I'm happy. Happy today is till be night. But the book ends with this. Gotham City is on fire! And you're happy about this? Yeah. Tom Taylor got a lot of flack for that online recently with that ending. You're like, why the heck would basically end the book that way for? I have no frickin' idea. It is by far one of the most weirdest things. Yeah. Yeah, and the whole storyline is wrapped up a little bow here. But I've heard some people claim this whole storyline just a bit too long. Like, I actually have all the trades here. By the way, I give the book roughly a 9 out of 10. Final thoughts on Ram V's time book, and I have all 5 trades here. First trade, which, by the way, the collection issues 1062 to 1065. For some weird reason, Barnes & Noble had this for the longest time, and this is the only trade I actually have my local Barnes & Noble. Because I tried to find the other trades there, and it took a while for Volume 1 come in. Like, it was just this for a while. It was like Volume 1 and 2 came out. Yes. Unlike Tom Taylor's run for Batman, Batman was Nightwing, which lasted for 3 years. This didn't last very long. This lasted for, if you're really curious, like, how long did this run last for? Started in July 26, 2022. And the last issue of this whole run was released in September 2024. Roughly a 2-year run. Volume 1. Volume 2, which basically collected issues 1066 to 1070. And they say the annual number 1 that came out in 2022. That means this is like a number... This is actually, thanks to the revived book thing for this one, this actually was the... So this was actually the 5th annual. Yes, this was annual number 3. Mm-hmm. Then you have Volume 3, Act 2, which contained issues 1070, 1085. And then you had the book from 2 comic corners ago. Basically, this book for Volume 4. And now we end with this. Unlike Tom Taylor's one, which was like basically 8 trades, Randy's run was only 5. Which, not bad length for a run that lasted for 2 years. Yeah, not bad. The problem we had with this run was that it was just too long. I really enjoyed this thing. I thought it was a really fun run. And now we have Tom Taylor taking over the book with issue 1090. Yes, believe it or not, 1090 is the most recent issue for the book. Well, 1086 is the recent issue, which I don't know for this one yet, but yeah, it did end the first story arc here. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, so not really much to say about this book. I did enjoy this run because it had very good artwork. I think the story was really good. I enjoyed the story. Do I have a problem with the fact people may not like the story? It's fine. But there's no denying throughout these issues, throughout this 38 issue run, live with 3 years. Well, you think it was 3 years, actually it was 2 years. This book had fantastic artwork. Yes, the artwork for every single issue of the book was really good. And I loved it. I love the fact we used all the family here. This story felt very self-contained. Like, you read this whole thing, it feels like not a lot of time passes by throughout the course of these 38 issues. Yes. And now we have Tom Taylor. Now, here's a little weird fun fact for you when it comes to this, basically, for Detective. Did you know that I have been purchasing the trades to collect issues of this book since issue 1094? Yes, so as of this year, I have collected in-trade paperback for Detective Comics. Issues have come out over the course of almost 7 years. Yes, 7 years I've been buying this damn thing. Not going to stop. No, not going to stop because I still enjoy this book. Yes. But everything from late December 2018 to which book right here, which came out in September. So over the course of about 6 years, I have all trade paperback. Yep. But like I said, not going to stop. I did like basically the new cover artwork here, where it's like a painting. Yeah, they changed the font for the book with this run. Yes. For some reason, they changed it to this style here, where it's like a bit more curved. Yeah, they updated the style after the style had virtually been the same. Let's see. When did they? I think that. I think it was 1001. That's basically where they started using the current, the previous art style, the font style for the book, and they had used it for 61 straight issues, and now we're using this current art style with this curve like a bat and detective. Now, if you're really curious, does the new writer keep that style of font? No. They changed the logo once they go with new writer because new logo. Yeah. But yeah, not much else to say about this book. And not much else to say for this review. So, that's pretty much a particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up, case closed. Okay, next video. Bye.